So we can now start with the business of the day. So the first question will be x squared, the plus of x minus 12, which is equals to 0. So we have to think about the factors that when we multiply them, we are going to get negative 12, but when we add them, we are going to get a 1. And the factors of 12 will be 6 times 2 and then 4 times 3. So with this, it means that this cannot actually give us 1 when we subtract them, but this one will do. So since this one is negative and this one is positive, we have to make sure that 1 is actually negative, so that when we multiply them, we are going to get a negative 12. So if we say 4 times negative 3, then this is equals to negative 12. So with this, it means that we can now add both numbers, and then when we add both numbers, we are going to get a 1, meaning that the factors for this particular equation will definitely be x minus 3, and then we're gonna have our x plus 4 here. So these are the factors that they need in order for us to get the 3 points, right? So x is equals to 3, and then the other one will be x, which is equals to negative 4. And remember, when we take them out of the brackets, they have to change the signs, right? So when we take them out of the brackets, then we have to change the signs. So that's how you can be able to solve the first question. So now I'm going to erase the board. I hope that you do understand it. So now we are going to continue with 1.1.2. Very important, because if you check the marks, you'll see that this one will be challenging a little bit. So I'm going to write the square root and then of 2x, then the plus of 1, which is equals to x minus 1. So the best thing to do here is to actually square both sides so that we can actually cancel the square root, right? So I will square this side and then square the other side. So remember that this will cancel the square root, and then we'll be left with 2x, the plus of 1, which is equals to x minus 1, x minus 1. So I decided to expand this so that we can multiply it easily. So x and x will give us x squared, and then x and negative 1 will give us negative x, and then negative 1 and x will give us negative x, and then negative times negative 1 will give us positive 1, which is equals to x squared minus 2x, the plus of 1. So from this point, and remember that you have to write this each and every time so that you can take the entire 2x plus 1 to the other side. So I'll be left with 0 is equals to x squared minus 2x minus 2x, the one that we have this side, and then the 1 will definitely be the plus of 1 minus 1. Minus 1 comes from the left hand side as it should show. So plus 1 negative 1 will give us a 0. So then it means that now we'll be left with the following equation, right? So x squared minus 2x minus, this can actually be minus 4 actually. So we don't have to skip. So this one and this one will give us negative 4x, and then this one will give us a 0. So this is equals to 0. So in order for us to simplify this, we have to take the common factor x outside of the equation. So that will be x, and then x minus 4 is equals to 0. And then here we know this one will be equivalent to 0. So it means x is equal to 0, or x is equals to 4. Remember, when we take out this, then we have to turn the negative to positive. So it's like taking 4 to the other side. So that will give us x, which is equals to 4, and then x, which is sort of not applicable like NA in a way. However, we have to write the answer just like this. Let me erase the board. So with 1.1.3, we can just write 2 to the exponent x is the square root of x, which is equals to 2 to the exponent 27. So with this, it means that we can say that the bases are actually equals to each other, which implies that the exponent are also equals to each other. So now we can actually try to simplify this times x 1 over 2. So remember that this, or the exponent itself, will turn into 1 over 2. So this will definitely be equals to 2 to the exponent 27. So when we have x times x, then it means that we can be able to add the exponents. So 2 to the exponent, so 1 plus 1 over 2 will give us 3 over 2, so which is equal to 2 to the exponent 27. So this means that now we can say that the exponents are actually equals to each other. X to the exponent 3 over 2, which is equals to 27. So now we want to get rid of this, meaning that we can now jump and say that let's multiply the exponent with the inverse of this, which is 2 over 3. So this will cancel this will cancel this, and then even this side we have to apply the same, right? So this means that x is equals to 9 if you apply this via the calculator. So I think the most important part will be adding this together and then ensuring that the exponents are actually equals to each other as the bases are equal to each other. So if the bases are not equals to each other, you have to deal with it. For instance, if you have something like 8, which is equals to maybe 2 to the exponent x, something like this, then it means that you will have to deal with this particular base here so that you can be able to do what? To equal the base, and then after that you'll take the exponents, So this is actually a very simple thing that you can be able to use when you are dealing with the exponents. So this is actually something that I just created for you to understand how one can be able to deal with it. However, this would definitely give me a 0 something, but I did not actually intend to, create such question, just that I wanted you to understand how the exponents work when the bases are not equal to each other. You can simplify it first and then equal the exponents. Let me erase the board. So with 1.1.4, we can actually write it down by saying x squared minus 2x and minus 8 less than 0. So you have to take this into consideration because this says that the equation is less than 0. So you have to take it into consideration all the time, right? So let's get the factors that when we multiply, we are going to get 8. When we add them, we are going to get negative 4. So let's say that 4 times 2 will give us 8. One should be negative, so that when we add them, we get negative. So the bigger number should be negative, so that when we add negative 4 and 2, we are going to get this. These are our factors, right? So now we have x minus 4 and then x the plus of 2 less than 0, right? Perfect. So now it means that when we take, let's say that we take this out and this out, so this will be positive and this one will be negative. So most of the time I prefer drawing, a line just to present my answer. So here and then here we are going to have our negative 2 and then here our 4. So the graph is positive, meaning that the graph will increment, and then if it was negative, this one here, then it means that the graph was going to decrement, right? So the graph here will increment as follows. This means that you do understand what you are doing, and then you might actually get an award on that. So the final answer here, we're starting from negative 2 to say negative 2 less x and then less 4. That's the answer that they were looking for. So this means that yes, the graph will increment up until infinite, and also we know that our lowest will be negative 2, then the other one will be positive 4. So this is what they were looking for, and I hope that you do understand the answer. And remember, the most important thing is to check if this actually is equals to, greater than, and so forth. So this is actually the solution for 1.1.4. So let me erase the board. So now we have to move to another question that says that given the function, solve for x if f of x is equals to 0, correct to 2 decimal places. Meaning that for our x values, we are going to get, the values with decimal numbers. So we have to take that into consideration and think about the quadratic equation before even getting into the question, because that's what they mean at the moment. So let me go and take the equation and write it down as follows. So the equation will be our f of x, which is equal to 5x squared, then the plus of 6x minus 7. So they are saying that if f of x is equals to 0, right? So it means that we are going to have something like this, plus 6x, then the minus of 7. So the first thing that we should think about now is actually the quadratic equation. And with that, it means that we are going to write it down. X is equals to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a, right? So now we know that this is our a, this is our b, and this is our c. So let's try to substitute the values into the equation, right? So now I'll say that x is equals to, then what is our b? That will be 6. So we're going to say negative 6 plus or minus the square root of, remember this is our b, and then minus 4, and then what is our a? 5, and then what is our c? Negative 7, and then all over 2 and then a, right? So this is actually our x value, and we know that this is a plus or minus. So now I'll just go and try to calculate this as given. So let me say that we have our 6 squared minus, let's take the inner part. 6 squared minus 4 and then minus 7. This will equal 176. So the square root of 176 will give us that. So meaning that now we can come down here and say, this is equals to negative 6 plus or minus the square root of, let's see if, where is the calculator? I don't remember the answer there. So let me try to find the calculator. So 4 so that will be the square root of 176 and then all over 10. So now meaning that x is equals to, so I will start by the positive 1, which is negative 6, the plus of 176 all over 10, and then the other one will be x, which is equals to negative 6 minus the square root of 176 all over 10. So now this is our final answer, where we get the ones with decimals, right? So I will just take my calculator just to finalize that and say that let me take it like this, minus 6, then the plus of square root of the given all over 10, right? And then I'm gonna get it like this. So this is very important because now it's actually our time to take out the final number. So here I will just go and get a pen, and then the answer will be 0.73, because if you check, you'll see that this number here is greater than 4. So anything from 5, 6, 7, we have to round off to the nearest number there. So even our calculator now is gone. I keep erasing the calculator. So let's try again and see if we'll be able to get the answer, right? So the final one will be negative 6, then the minus of square root of 176, then all over 10, and then this will give us negative 1,93 as well, because this is equal to 6, so then we have to round this so that we can get the following, so that we can get negative 1,93. So meaning that we are following the two decimal places as like 1,93. So this will be two decimal places and this will be two decimal places. This is very important because if you go there and say that you have, let me erase, if you go there and say that you have negative 1,93 2, then will be wrong because you have to round it off. So if you get something like this, then the answer will be negative 193. But if you get something like negative 1,92222, so you don't have to change this number here. You only change this number if this particular number here is actually 5, 6, 7, like 5 or 6 or 7 and above instead of 4 below, right? So that's how you deal with two decimal places. Let me erase the board. So 1.2.2 says that calculate the value of d for which this equation has equal roots. So when you see equal roots, you have to think about this formula, right? So the formula says that if you want to find any equal roots, then you can use this formula. So if you remember the quadratic equation, inside the square root of the quadratic equation there is something like this for equal roots, right? So the equation itself says that 5x squared the plus of 6x then minus d is equal to 0. So now we can be able to do what? To substitute into the equation. This will be our A, this will be our B, and this will definitely be our C. So now we can say that this is equal to what is our B, this will be our C, our B, and then now we go straight to our A, and then our C will be negative D, right? So as it is, we can just say that this is equal to, and then we can use the what? 6 times 6 will give us 36, and then this will give us negative times negative will give us positive. 4 times this will give us positive 20, right? So now it means that we can go and equate this to 0. So then we can take this to the other side and say that negative 20d, which is equals to 36, right? And then divide both sides by 20, and then we are going to have the following. So actually negative 20, so that we can cancel the negative, and then d will definitely be equals to a negative number. So with that, we can now use the calculator just to calculate our final value, and our final value will be 36 divided by 20, and then that will be 9/5. So this means that our final value will be negative 9/5. So this is actually the value of d that they were actually looking for here, right? So that's how you can actually calculate the value of d and get the 3 points. Let me erase the board. So now we have our biggest question, solve for x and y simultaneously. So the best thing to do here is to say that we have equation 1 and equation 2, and then you try to deal with the equations, right? So for me, I'm just going to say that my equation 1 will be x minus 2y, which is equals to 3, right? And then from here I'll just take the y to the other side, and then 3 to the other side. So x, the plus of 3 is equals to 2y, right? So 2y, negative 2y now will be positive, and this will be positive as well when it actually jump the equal sign. And then I'm going to divide this by 2 and then this by 2. So meaning that I'll have y, which is equals to x the plus of 3 all over 2. So I'm going to make sure that this is my equation 1, and then my equation 2 will be xy, which is equals to 20, right? So I'm going to substitute equation 1 into equation 2, right? So then now it means that I can go down here and say my y, x into, this is my y, x plus 3 all over 2, which is equals to 20, right? Meaning that if I multiply both sides by 2, so then this side, this will cancel this, and then this will be 40, right? And then this side I'm going to have x into x the plus of 3 now. So now this times this will give me x squared, and then the plus of 3x, and when I take this to the other side, it means that I'm going to get negative 40, which is equals to 0. So now the final part will definitely be us trying to get the common factors, something that we can multiply, and when we add them we are going to get positive 3. So that will be a bigger number, like 8 times 5, and here should be, this one should be negative and this one will be positive. When we add them we are going to get a 3, positive 3, right? So meaning that our common factors will be x, then plus 8, then into into then x, and then this will definitely be minus 5 equal to 0. So this means that x is equal to negative 8, or x is equals to positive 5, right? So these are x values. So if we need our y values now, we can go back to this equation and substitute x, and then with that it means that we can be able to get our y. So meaning y is equals to negative 8 plus 3 all over 2. So this will be what? This will equal 5 over 2, right? And then the final one that takes positive 5, it means that this will be 5 plus 3 all over 2. 8 divided by 2 will give us 4. So meaning that maybe x1 is equal to negative 8, x2 positive 5, y1 5 over 2, and this will be negative because this number here will give us a negative. My apologies for that. And then here this one is positive, meaning that we're going to get a positive for y2. So this is how you can be able to solve these equations simultaneously. I hope that you do understand it and I did not confuse you at all.